What's up, everyone? It's time for our digital huddle today. I hope you're having a great weekend. This weekend's going to be a great weekend at GC as well. So many cool things happening. But real quick, before we get into this week's huddle, as you guys obviously know, this week has been a very difficult week for America and for many of us. Honestly, I've had multiple days in a row where I just felt sad, right? After the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now we talked to our kids about it. We prayed for his family. We prayed over the situation, and honestly, I just spent a few days feeling sad, my heart hurting for everything that's going on in our country and the hate and the pain that people are walking through. The whole thing. It just made me feel sad. And one thing that I really have held on to is the words of Charlie Kirk. One of the things he said is that when he dies, one of the things he wants to be remembered for is for being courageous in his faith, and that his faith was the most important thing to him. And I think this is a great opportunity for us to look at someone who lived it out very well, who was courageous with their faith, going into places that were not easy. It was difficult to share the faith, and he would walk into those universities and openly discuss and debate and share the love of Jesus and God's word. And so in that, I don't know about you, but I've been challenged to definitely, how can I be bolder with my faith? Whenever I'm in contact with people, how can I be bolder about what Jesus has done in my life and what his plan is for theirs? And so, look, I hope this week has challenged you, has lit a match inside of you, because I believe that in moments like this, it's time for us to go, you know what? No, I have a world to reach for Christ. My life is not my own. I belong to him, and God is going to lead me and guide me and use me for a purpose. And I'm not just going to take, I'm going to give and go and be the light of the world for Christ. And so, anyways, all of that, we will be praying over that situation in the service. And then also, another situation, this is a good thing going on this week, but Liz and Curtis are going to be moving with their daughter Violet to California, and it's a good thing because they went to California to visit, and their family's there, and their family is going to be so close to them to where they're moving, and I'm just happy for their family. I'm happy for this next season for them. I'm going to miss them dearly. All of you that know Curtis and Liz and Violet, and they've been coaches on the Welcome team now for a couple years, and I remember their first Sunday at the church, and just really just falling in love with that family and just loving their hearts for God and for people. And so they will be missed at GC, but they're coming up on their last Sunday here at GC here pretty soon. And so I just want to go ahead and honor them with all of you on the dream. I want to honor Curtis and Liz and how much they have faithfully served and led and impacted many of your lives as you were coming onto the team, the dream team at GC. And I'm so thankful that we got to do life together. I'm so thankful we got to have a couple years together to reach people for Christ in the Jupiter area. And they will be missed, but man, California is receiving a wonderful, wonderful family. And I'm really excited for their family, that they get to be close to their parents and all the other family members as well. And so I'm happy for them. I'm sad for us, but it's a great transition for their family. So make sure you hug on their neck this Sunday, love on them, give them some gift cards, all this stuff, right? Just show them how much they are loved, because they truly, 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 truly are. And Curtis and Liz, I know you guys are watching this. We love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you for serving wholeheartedly for the kingdom at GC. And thank you for just being friends for Kristen and I and our family. Thank you for being there when we needed people to be there. You have always just loved us unconditionally. I love you guys. And you'll be missed for sure. If we are in California visiting, I will expect to hang out and get to see you guys and everything. So, anyways, let's talk about our book unreasonable hospitality. Again, it's talking about the restaurant life, but really talking about how we can show unreasonable hospitality in every way of serving at the church or in your business, your family, however you want to look at that. But unreasonable hospitality. We're on chapter 14 right now, and the chapter was called Restoring Balance. And balance is difficult, isn't it? Balance is so difficult. Balance is something that we always fight and we try to figure out, and we always feel like it's off. And some seasons it feels better than other seasons. And in this chapter, I like what it talks about, because it's talking about how leaders many times we're driven by results and we get our balance all kind of off, and we have to fight for that. We have to be intentional with that. I know for me personally, I can speak to the ministry side of things. I grew up with there was a generation of pastors who did terrible at this, where it was like they almost neglected their family to make sure that they were everything they could be for the church. And so you had a whole generation of like pastors' kids and wives of pastors that just really fell out of love with the local church, because the pastor, the one who was at church, on staff at church, that one gave their whole life to everyone else, and really second was their family, and their balance was off, right? I think we would all agree with that. So then there was another generation that then fought for balance. And this is the one that I kind of grew up under, where I had my grandparents that were in the one set going like, everything is this. Then the next set that I was more under, and also watching, I guess, both generations at the same time, I was more under like the ones that are going like, there has to be some kind of divide in it, right? You have to have this work-life balance. You have to, okay, I did this, so now I have to do this. No, you're not going to call me after this time because I'm doing, and you create this like a wall to create this balance in your life. And what Krista and I have found is like, that's not right either. I think both are extremes. And for us, we found that balance is for us in ministry. We found that balance was the gray area. And what if we put it all into the pot together, and we are open with our kids that like, this is what we do. We are in ministry and we get to love people to Jesus. And the balance isn't really so much there anymore. It's more, we do this together and we're all in it, but we also find times to make sure we are just valuing and prioritizing our family, because our family has to be our first ministry. But then if someone needs me at 7 p.m., we're going to roll back into it, and so we do this together, and we have the balance within there. But the balance is so important. You have to restore balance if you don't have balance. And you may be out of balance right now. You might personally be out of balance. You might be so focused on your work that you aren't focusing on your kids. And you might be saying, oh, I'm going to create a wall. And you're so focused on your kids that you don't have anything going on. So like, you got to figure out how to create this balance for your life and bring it all together in health. And so Will talks about, and he reminds us that great leadership isn't just about driving results. It's about sustaining people who deliver the results. And so in chapter 14, he talks about how high performers, they often push so hard in pursuit of excellence. They risk burnout, they risk exhaustion, and even they risk losing their joy. And have you ever felt that way? You felt like, man, I just don't even like what I'm doing anymore. I don't like this. It's not like how when I started, like week one, you're like, I love this, I got this job. And then now you're a few years in, you're like, I don't even like it anymore. Ever felt that way? Well, that's because maybe your balance is off. And so as leaders, it's really important for us to responsibly model balance. That doesn't mean that we lower our standards or we reduce the ambitions for excellence and to go and drive and create and all this. It doesn't mean all of that. It means that we create rhythms that allow people, and maybe this is what you have to do for yourself, is create a rhythm for yourself to recover, to recharge, to stay inspired, to dream, right? Just like a world-class athlete. Like if you watch the NBA, I like the NBA, right? If you, right now you got fantasy football going on though too. So I'm in a fantasy football league. I'm like last place. I know nothing about football, but I do know that professional athletes, if you take an athlete, they have to have time where they train really hard and also where their body recovers and rests, right? You have to have both of them. They can't train really hard and then play a game that night. They won't be at their peak performance. They have to actually train real hard, have a moment of like rest, and then compete so that they can be at their peak performance. And that's the same thing, is that balance is not weakness, balance is actually strength. And so I want to challenge you to be very intentional with your life, because you need balance in it. And so I want to encourage you to maybe write out all the things that you do. I had someone tell me the other day, well, I just don't have time to do these things. And specifically, we were talking about him and his wife going out on dates together. And it's like, with work and everything, I just don't have time. We don't have time to do that. I'm like, you actually have the same amount of time as I do, right? We all have the same amount of time. It's how we intentionally use it. And so I want you to find balance in your marriage, in your home, and with your work. I believe you can do all the things as long as you're intentional with it. It's kind of like budgeting your own finances, right? Like, you may not be able to go to Disney World every single weekend, but I do believe you can pay for a house that's within your means while driving a car that's within your means, while also having some vacation money if you budget correctly, right? Like, you take all the 24 hours that you have and you budget it correctly, and you could actually be the husband or wife that you want to be, and the father or mother you want to be, while also being the employee or boss or whatever it is that you want to be, while also serving at the church in God's house in the way that you want. You can do all the things, but you have to balance it correctly, because you also have to get the proper amount of sleep, right? You have to take care of yourself, and all those things are so important, and you can't have every season be exactly identical. So this has to be an ongoing conversation, maybe a once a month check-in, going, okay, what's my balance got to be this month in order to get to this? We're in a season where Chris and I have a lot of things going on during the nights, a lot of small groups that we're in. And there was a point where I'm going like, I feel out of balance. This is going to be crazy. So many nights. And Kristen's like, well, why don't we have fun doing it? And so I looked at the things that we're doing, like, man, it is fun. Like, why don't we make this, okay, this is the moments where we're having fun. And yeah, we're also in a small group, but we're doing it in a fun way, because it's like, I think we're in like 4 or 5 different groups. And so it's something like that, but it's a good thing. And all of a sudden we're a few weeks in and we are having the best time ever, because we openly talked about how to be intentional with this moment and create balance. And so I want to challenge you guys to be balanced, be intentional. You don't just accidentally be balanced. So you got to intentionally be balanced in all areas of your life, because honestly, I don't really believe in that word burnout. People use the word burnout, and they do things. I've talked about this on the Huddle before, and this is in my notes, so we're just going to go for it. But I feel like sometimes people use that as a cop-out for serving. Like, they'll be like, I'm burnt out, I can't really serve at the church anymore. I'm like, well, hold on. Like, what that usually is a sign that there's a lot of other things in your life that are not balanced. It's not about getting the job done at the church. The reason we have people serving at the church is so you have community, you're connected with people. It's not about the job, right? I mean, we could eliminate the coffee shop today and we don't have mochas. You will survive, right? We could eliminate the welcome team today, and I promise people will learn how to open the door on their own. It's okay. We could do those things, right? We do it to show people that we love them so much that we're going to serve them and go above and beyond, and that we want to do it and create community with each other, because we need each other. And so it's a way to serve and do community with each other all at the same time. But at the end of the day, when people are like, I'm burnt out, I can't do it, it always points to this other place. Okay, there's something that's not even related to the church. There's something in your life that's not balanced. And so if you're feeling burnt out at work or at church or wherever it is, I want you to check yourself real quick. Just do a little inventory of everything you got going on and how you're using your time, and what could you shift to get yourself balanced so you can be healthy. All right, I know this went a little bit longer, but I hope it was good for you. This is something that needs to be an ongoing conversation. Am I balanced? Am I being intentional with my time so I can be the healthiest me I can be, so I can pour out for others? Because if I'm empty, I can't pour out to others, right? And God is going to use us to reach the lost for Him. And if we're going to be pouring out for Him, we need to fill up and make sure we're the healthiest us that we can be too, right? So let's be intentional. Let's balance ourselves. I love you guys. I can't wait to see you tomorrow.